Going back to what is hopefully the final conclusion to the reupholstering of the Strandmon IKEA armchair. Off camera, I have done quite a lot of work. I didn't want to go through every single thing on camera, but I will take you through where I am and what I've done. I was going to leave this until last, but I figure because it's one that I'm a bit not concerned about, but just it's probably the most complicated part, I thought I would actually tackle it now, and this is the seat, or the cushion cover. So I've cut out my standard process of pinning it all down and then cutting around it so I've got the shape. Now, the good thing about this is that it's got this bead, whatever, I still don't know what it's called, that runs all the way around to the top part here, which hides the seam, so it should look quite good. So I'm going to give that a go now. So what I've done is cut this piece out, and I'm going to cut a piece out for this. Again, I'll do the same thing, I'll just spread it out, pin it down, and cut out a strip, and then I can put a seam, just stitch just on the inside of there, and then I can stitch it to the front here of the new piece, and then at least I'll have that top bit of the cushion cover out the way and done. As you can see, I've kind of been picking it apart piece by piece, so what I'll do next is, again, the side section, it's in two pieces, well, I think it's two pieces. One bit that goes all the way around the back side, stitches up there, and one bit that goes around the front side, stitches up there. So I'll unstitch that and at least cut out the parts because they're just nice straightforward pieces. Jobs are good, and so that'll be that bit out of the way. Then what I'm going to do is, because I need to make sure that I stitch the zip on properly, that's my real thing. I'm keeping this part with the zip attached to it, but then I need to make sure that this attaches to that, so I might stitch it back so this is attached to that, but then equally I'm like, well, I've got to do this front piece as well because I need to re-stitch a new front piece to this because I'm keeping this piece. You know what I mean? It's getting a bit complicated, but it's okay. What I tend to do is I start working on it and then work out what worked best as I'm unpicking it, and yeah, it's very methodical, as you can tell when someone hasn't got a clue what they're doing. But these are the bits that I've actually already done. So I'm pretty sure we're up to this point anyway. Last time I ran out of staples, but I got more staples for my staple gun. So that base is all finished, that one's all sorted. I've also finished this, which is obviously the back. So the back is now all stapled in place down the side. All the bits that you can see here aren't actually seen when you put the side, this side on, which I've also done. So you don't need to worry about things like that bit at the bottom because that's how it was before anyway. There's also a little bit there, a strip on the bottom. That's not seen, but there is a hole that you can see if you don't cover it. So there is a little strip from the original chair that just covers that. That's sorted. And this is the back side of the chair. As you can see, it's got the beading along the top, and it's then all stapled down the side, and then these bits, then the side bits. I haven't done this side. This is one side that I'm leaving till last. I haven't even taken apart the cover yet. I was going to do that next, but I've just finished the other side. That was probably the most complicated part I've done so far, but mainly because there are lots of different pieces to it, and I'll show you what. So you can see where I've used the I don't even know what they're called, the nails, leather nails or whatever. So the leather nails are tapped in all the way along here. That panel is all done even around the top, and to be fair, I think it's come out pretty well. The only thing I've got left to do now is the insert that sits in there and that goes to the bottom, but I'm going to need to take these plastic plugs out because these plastic plugs won't come out and they're kind of stuck in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of the leather nails around the edge there, and I'll just cover a piece of whatever, could be just cardboard, to be honest, doesn't really matter as long as it's the exact shape and I can cover it in leather. Then I can just use the nails, and then the bottom bit there is covered by the base anyway, so you can't see it, so it's just that bit, but that insert will be easy to do, and I'll do that probably last. And I have put it together because I wanted to see how it's all stuck together, and it looks, I mean, you can see in general, but I'm pretty pleased. Like, I've never done this before, as I've said many times now in these 2 videos so far, and so I don't think that it's come out so far too badly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack on with this bead section and part of this cushion, try and make sure I have all the pieces, because that's the most visible part when you obviously sit on the cushion itself and sit on the armchair. So I'm going to crack on with cutting and trying to get some of this bead stuff done, and I'll catch up with you when I've got a bit further. So I've just stitched this, the bead, the rope, whatever it is, and now I'm going to stitch it to this thing. I actually really don't mind stitching these because you can run the foot of the sewing machine all the way along the rope, so it actually makes it much easier to do. So I quite like that. So I'm going to stitch that to that and see how that comes out. Wicked. So that is with the bead sewn on to the top of the cushion. So I can just trim that edge off because I won't need that. And then, yeah, I can work on, I think, the side bits now. So I start to piece things together. It's starting to come together. I think that looks good. What do you reckon? Right, so whatever I said I was going to do, I kind of think I almost did it. I don't really know. But I've stitched this bit that goes all the way around on this inside, because this is actually deeper than this one, because this one's got the zip attached to it. So that's this bit here. So this is the final bit there that I will then stitch to the inside of the zip here all the way around, and then I will stitch it to these bits vertically down there, and then I can attempt to stitch it to that. I'll have to like turn it inside out, I think, and then I don't know, that's the bit that I'm a bit like, I haven't worked out how I'm going to do that, but I'll work that out. But it looks alright, look. Even though it's the bottom, like, looks pretty pro. Pretty happy with that. So that's the bottom of the cushion. Yeah, alright. And that's the top. So when it's all stitched together, it'll be all stitched together. Yeah, wicked. So I'll do this one last bit in the morning. It's getting a bit late now. I want to try and crack on with as much as possible, but I will try and finish it this weekend. So I'm going to, because it's Friday night now, so I'm going to pin all that one up tomorrow, cut that one out, sew that one onto there, so that should be the cushion bit all done. So then it's just this, I say just, it's not just, it's a pain and it's quite hard. So then I can crack on with, I'll do this panel first and then sew the bead straight in. That's what I did last time, just so I did it and got it out of the way, so that panel was then done. And then I can move on to stitching these ones together, put them all together, staple them onto the thing, and we should have a fully sorted chair, he says. Well, you see with these bits, this is something I haven't mentioned yet, so these bits are all sewn together like this, where they go around the corners, and when you actually unpick it all, it's jagged. And then what you have to do is you have to fold the pieces together like that, and then stitch them along there to keep it together. And then once you've done all of those, then you just run a seam along there to then hold them together, and you might be able to see it on this one. So it comes out like that. It just ruffles it all together, and it just folds all down one side, and then you just sew a line and it just keeps them all together. So that's what I did on the last one. So that's on that one over there, all good. So I will follow the same way of doing it on this one as well. This is obviously a thinner material, so it's easier to do. It's a bit harder still on the kind of leather, fake leather, whatever it is, a vegan leather. But that's the process if you're wondering how to get those corners done correctly. Well, or how it's been done. Right, I'll see you in the morning. Right, so it's the next morning and I'll show you where I'm at, but I also want to show you how I've massively ballsed up the cushion. I mean, it doesn't look it from a distance, but I will be redoing it at the end because I'll show you. So obviously from here you're like, oh, it looks pretty decent. I haven't put the end bit in yet, so I'm going to have to obviously just detach it so I can put that bit in. But I wanted to see how it looked like that, and I'm like, actually looks pretty good until, yeah. So the real issue is, you can see that the corner of this zip part ends here and this one ends here. And look, this corner should actually be here, not here. So what I think I've done is put the zip down too low. I think the zip actually needs to start about here and then go around and then work its way. It's but I think I can fix it. All I'll have to do is unstitch the zip part of it from the bottom and redo it like further round. But other than that, the rest of it's okay. I think it's just the zip aspect of it, but I can unpick that from the side, you know, down there, that's not a problem. So it's not the end of the world. It's slightly annoying, I'm not gonna lie. I got in a bit of a mood this morning, but I can fix that. But for now, it's all hidden. It doesn't exist. But obviously I'm missing a side, so the side bit's kind of important. I need that, so I'm gonna finish that. So again, I've cut out these two pieces so far. These are the main pieces. Well, actually, there's apart from this one as well. But this, and this are all the pieces that go on this side. Then this gets stapled down on this side. You can see there, actually it gets pulled around there. You can see where the old staple marks are, so they'll be pushed back, stapled down. But I need to stitch that to that first. But before I do that, I'm gonna stitch these bits together here. So like I said before, they go inside out, stitched together down the line of each one, and then around. So it can go around there. It doesn't have to be super neat because that's going to be covered by the panel that goes there. So it's just about trying to bunch it up without it going all crazy. So I'm going to start with those ones, and then I'll cut out the last one, which has got this one around the top, which is quite a big one, which is this final one here. So this is the final one I need to unstitch, and you can see there, you know, where they're stitched down the lines of the triangles. So I will unstitch this, mark it out on this piece here, then I will get it all stitched together. And once these three bits are stitched together, including these parts here, the rest of it is actually all stapling. So it's just stapling it to the base, because I've also already done the other side. So again, with the bead on this side that runs along there, I'm going to be tapping it into with the special pin thingy, majiggies, and the staple gun. But I can't do that until the other bit's on, because the other bit actually staples under here. So I need to staple the other piece onto here first, then I can hit this into place and then staple at the bottom, and then done. So that's the last bit. So I'm gonna stitch those two pieces together. Let's just get it done. It's the final stretch now. We're nearly there. Yes, I wanted to show you the mistakes as well, because like I said a million times, I've never done this before, don't really know what I'm doing, and if it all went well the first time, then you wouldn't really learn, I think. So it's good, although frustrating, but I can come back and I can rectify it, and I've got plenty of material, so if I really need to make the entire thing again, I can, but I don't think it will come to that at all. Anyway, let's crack on with this side. I'm on kind of the final stretch, the stapling part, so I'll show you kind of how I do it. I have to try and pull it taut, and I'm not stapling this side, I'm using these things because I think they look nice, and so just hammering those in with a small little hammer. This is a special one apparently for these, so it doesn't bend them. You can't hit them too hard, and you have to hit them straight, otherwise they will bend, so you've got to be careful. And then just try and keep it as taut as possible, because you don't want any lines like this. But the reason these lines exist is because I haven't pulled them out this way yet. So as I go around, I staple it from the bottom. So I've done this section, obviously this will eventually come out because it's not been like that. And I'll bang in those bits. I've stapled it around the edge there, stapled it around the edge here. And so yeah, I'm just going to finish off these along this like that. And then I'll move all the way around and then staple up the side. And then hopefully that side's done. So that is all on now. What I've got to do is fit this bit, so this bit then goes back in this slot here, and then just screws in like that, and then we can slot it back on that and see how it looks. Right, let's do it. That's on. Now let's turn it on its side and get it on there. So there we have it. The side put back on. You can see I've done my little, see if you can see that anyway. I'll move it into the light in a second. The little studs down the side, and it's looking pretty sweet, to be honest. I think that is way better than I expected. What I obviously have to do, I actually need to take the sides back off to do these little trim bits. So I'm going to do those now, just to finish that off. And like I said, I'll finish the cushion afterwards. But even with it being janky, I mean, you'd never know really. I will, and I would know but no one else would. But yeah, Strandmon chair, nearly recovered. What I think a success that is. Right, let's, like I said, let's just do a quick recovering of those trim bits, because that will annoy me and I can't leave it there. And then I'll give it a quick all the way around. Oh, I'm spent. I just put the armchair down on my toe and that was painful. But I finished. It is done. Right, let's have a look. You can see I used the little studs around there. I did the same on the other side. The studs equally follow all the way around the side. So yeah, this is my completely finished Strandmon armchair. I say completely finished, it isn't totally finished, because like I said before, I am going to be redoing the seat cover, but I think that's come out bloody well. I'm extremely pleased with that as a final result. You know, around the back and everything, it looks decent. It looks, from a distance, very, almost not professional, but you know, it looks better than I thought it was going to do. So there's that. I'm pleased. If you've enjoyed this series of me attempting to create or reupholster an IKEA Strandmon chair, follow the channel. I will hopefully share all of the different projects that I'm doing in my house. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one, and peace.